Okay, so the Gacha revenue for February is in, and as such, today we're going to talk about Jujutsu Kaisen Phantom Parade and where it ranks with its combined score between Global and JP. Now, keep in mind for February, I just want to say this right off the bat, it was not the craziest month. There wasn't a lot going on either side of the game, and now that we're into March, we actually got a really good new character for JP, Shoko, who a lot of people are probably going to be summoning for, so that right there is going to drive March's numbers up. And on Global, we don't really have anything too crazy yet. We're probably not going to have anything too crazy up until we get to the half anniversary, where we see Domain Expansion Gojo and Zoni Itadori come out. However, in February for Global, we did have at least one good character come out, which we'll talk about when we get there. But so let's scroll down and see where Jujutsu Kaisen ranks compared to the other games. So Pokemon TCG at the top, really kind of not surprised. It has been. Look at it, it's doing bits. It's going absolutely crazy. And then you have Love and Deep Space, Dragon Ball Dokkan Battle, because of the anniversary in February, literally doubled the amount of money it normally makes. Like Dokkan Battle was just, it's going crazy. It had a lot of really good things for the anniversary, had some bad things, characters that people weren't happy with, right? But I mean, no such thing as bad publicity. The game is just it's untouched. It's absolutely crazy. It reigns supreme. Then we have Honkai Star Rail. Oh my gosh, why did I struggle to say that? Then we have Naruto Mobile. This one's China specifically. Like China alone carrying this freaking game. I miss Naruto. Like Boruto just ain't it, but like, man, I wish we saw some good Naruto gacha games. Like that would be fun. I would be playing those for sure. Then we have Genshin Impact. Keep going down, Zenless Zone Zero, Cookie Run Kingdom, and to round out the top 10. So there's your top 10. Fate Grand Order. I'm surprised that many people actually play that game. Interesting. Maybe I'll have to look into that. I've started getting a little bit into the Fate series. There's just so much to it, right? It's crazy. And then I'm gonna just scroll down a bit more. I'll point out the ones that catch my eye. One Piece Bounty Rush at 17. And then Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel at 20. Dragon Ball Legends actually a ways down. They dropped 9 spots down to rank 24. They almost halved their revenue as well. That's crazy, down to 6 million. AFK Journey 25. And if we keep going down a little bit, Solo Leveling Rise actually staying even, doing pretty well. I've really considered honestly giving this game a try. Now, like, I'm really enjoying solo leveling as the second season is going on. I just, from what I understand, there's kind of like spoilers with characters and stuff like that, and I don't want to do that to myself because I'm strictly watching the anime. I'm not reading anything content wise for this, so I don't want to ruin anything for myself. That's the main reason I haven't played this game. If it's not that much of a spoiler, let me know in the comments. Maybe I'll give it a try. I don't know if I'll actually like cover content on the game unless I really enjoy it, but I haven't even tried it because I've just been scared, honestly. So let me know in the comments if you guys think solo leveling Arise is something maybe I should cover on the channel or try. But if it also, let me know if it has spoilers, because I don't want to play the game if it has too many spoilers. And then down even lower than solo leveling Rise at rank 35, so still top 50. I consider top 50 okay. Like, these games are fine, they're not in trouble. Then we have Jujutsu Kaisen Phantom Parade. So once again, February is a soft month for most gacha games. If you look at all of these gacha games we scrolled through, they're all have lost some revenue compared to January. January is usually a pretty good month for most games. So January, 7,900,000. Now we're in February where we have 3,200,000, literally cut in half. But why is that? The reason is, well, February is a shorter month, so you have less days to make money. That's a pretty obvious reason. You wouldn't think those 2 to 3 days between any on the 28th and any on the 31st can make that big of a difference, but it really, really does. Ask anyone who works in retail or anything like that. They'll tell you that like missing those 3 days can be the difference of a couple, like $15,000, $20,000, if depending on how much you make a day. Like, it can make a very, very big difference, and that's for a small store. So for like a big global game like this, it's going to be hundreds of thousands of dollars probably difference that you're missing in 3 days. Now, besides that, okay, going to the timeline of events for global here. This is the global timeline of events, which we don't normally look at. In January, we had Nanami come out, a very good character. I feel like a lot of people actually wanted this character because of his utility. I personally really wanted him, summoned until I got him. We had Blue Itadori come out. He was kind of meh. He was skippable. This was a free to play. Obviously, everybody wanted Mahito as well. Toto was skippable. But then we had hidden inventory in January, right? So towards the end of January, we got hidden inventory Gojo. Then on the 26th, we got hidden inventory Geto. And then on the very last day of January, January 31st, we got hidden inventory Toji. And most people, if you're like myself, are going to summon on the first day the banner comes out. You're not going to wait multiple days for the banner to come out. So most of the revenue, even though Toji was at the end of January, for hidden inventory happened in January. Therefore, why the numbers in January are so much higher than the numbers in February, and why the numbers in February are lower. Now, with that said, some people probably did summon on February 1st, February 2nd for Toji, so I feel like that probably actually helped buff the numbers a little bit for Jujutsu Kaisen Phantom Parade. I'm not going to lie to you, I kind of expected the numbers to be even lower than they are. I'm surprised that the numbers are still 3,200,000 because JP had like absolutely nothing going on, and as we've seen in the past, JP usually carries the freaking game for revenue. So that means a lot of this 3,200,000 was actually Global carrying the game this time, at least in my opinion. And so then if we go into the month of February, what else was going on? So Toji helped with those numbers, but I don't think Toji himself was enough to be like, okay, we're gonna hit that number. So if we look at the other characters, like Mechamaru, definitely skippable, coming to the standard pool banner soon. Nobody wanted him. Same thing with Red Panda. Nobody should have been summoning on these characters besides me because I'm just stupid. Okay, now if we keep going, then we got the announcement of Yaga. I think they knew that this month, that February, was going to be a soft month, as it typically is for games. Like just look at every other game. Every game, it's a soft month. They're not making as much money as they made the previous month. Okay, and so because they knew they were going to make less money, they decided to drop a character that was highly anticipated, highly wanted. Originally, I was like, they'll say this till right before the half anniversary to get people to spend their money, but now it makes sense to me because they wanted to make their numbers look a little bit better in this month. This is how you do it. You drop Yaga on the third week, 3 weeks after hidden inventory. That way people have had a little bit of time to recoup and get their money back and be able to spend. And then you get some people to spend for Yaga because they really, really want him, like myself, and to spend for Gakuganji. Two very good characters on one banner. This was actually kind of their optimal play for them to drop this character when they did. And now I completely understand them dropping the character before Saki and dropping Saki at the end of the month, because if they had dropped Yaga on February 28th, then part of the revenue from Yaga's banner would have spilled into March and your February numbers would not have looked as good. So this makes complete sense to me, and that is why I think the number is actually as high as it is. I would attribute this generally to Global for why the number has maintained where it's at. And probably the reason they did this is because if they don't keep their number up to a certain amount of money that they're making each month or whatever, however it works, they reallocate staff to other games and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm no expert, but that would just be my guess. The better the game is doing, the more staff it's going to get. I feel like that's an obvious thing, right? So the better they can make the game look like it's doing, then the more resources they're going to get to continue the game, to keep the game going, to make the game better for the players. So it just makes sense that they dropped this when they did. And then after that, at the end of the month, they dropped Saki, once again, who is a skip character. So I feel like nobody really should have summoned on this banner either. So just one character in this month, essentially making up that revenue for Jujutsu Kaisen Phantom Parade. Unless you count Toji, who once again probably spilled over a little bit and gave you a little bit of revenue as well. For the JP side of things, I don't think there was anything too crazy going on in February. If I switched the timeline here to the JP timeline of events and we go to first anniversary February, what do we have going on? Nothing too crazy. Yeah, we had Inamaki. He came out, when was that? February 19th. So a couple of people summoned for him. I feel like people weren't super excited for him because they were expecting Shibuya arc characters, and then we didn't get them, right? So people weren't too excited about that. But then we got Shoko. Shoko was, I believe this is technically a Shibuya arc character. So Shoko came out on the 28th. So she makes up a little bit of revenue. Actually, probably a decent amount of revenue for February being on that last day. But a lot of her revenue, once again, is going to spill over into March for anybody that's summoned on March 1st. So yeah, once again, I would still say my original argument stands that probably most of the revenue right here for Jujutsu Kaisen Phantom Parade comes from the global side of the game. And just really quickly, I did scroll through this earlier. That's pretty much everything I have on Jujutsu Kaisen, but I just want to point out where some of the other games I have played here on the channel are. Grand Cross still doing actually surprisingly okay. It's not doing nearly as good as it was a few years ago, but still rank 42 right now, which could be worse. But then as we scroll down, where is it? There was Tower of God was like down here a little bit. I might have already passed it, but nope, actually it's way down here. It's rank 71. Tower of God is it's not doing great. I feel like the anime is kind of to blame for that. The last season of Tower of God was not great in my opinion. The story wasn't told very well. I don't know. There's a lot of problems with it. I'm not going to get into it, but Bleach Brave Soul's down here as well. And then my favorite thing is at the very bottom, the two games we're going to find down here is crazy. Black Clover Mobile, a very polished game, had a lot of potential, and then they just, for whatever reason, made a lot of bad decisions with it and allowed it to die. Maybe, I don't know. I feel like they're holding on until the anime comes back to maybe try to revive it, resuscitate it, give it CPR. I don't know what they're doing with it. Maybe they'll just let it die. 190,000 though, previous month down to 136,000, only fell 2 spots. So nothing really changed there with Black Clover Mobile. I don't know. I would like to say I still play the game, but I log in to do some summons here and there and maybe use a character or two. There's just not really content in the game that interests me, and I think maybe one of the bigger problems is they shifted to focusing too much on PvP when they should have been focusing a little more on PvE, like Hall of Illusions and stuff like that. Like, people really enjoyed Hall of Illusions. I enjoyed Hall of Illusions, trying to beat it. Stages that took me hours to beat, made guides on them. It was a lot of fun originally when the game came out. Then they just, you get done with it and it's like, what do you do? So, and then they came out with characters that were too overpowered and made content too easy. There's just a lot of things going on with Black Clover Mobile. But down at rank 91, I would actually like to see this game do better. I'm not preying on this game's downfall, but yeah, it's down here. It's unfortunate. If you drop out of the top 100, actually even be where it's at risk of shutdown territory, but dropping out of the top 100, you're pretty much in shutdown territory, right? Because look at these games are making nothing. But then the one game I was preying on their downfall, One Punch Man World, I absolutely hated this game. I did, like, I was nicer to it than I should have been in my initial reviews. I did like 3 or 4 videos on it because I was excited to try it at first. I love One Punch Man, but I hated the game. I don't know what else to say. It just wasn't a good game. Crunchyroll games, yeah, it wasn't good. 11,000, 13,000, like it's, I don't know what to say. It's bad. So, yeah, in all respects to that, if you just think about those games down there, I mean, Jujutsu Kaisen Phantom Parade could definitely be in a worse spot. Rank 35, right? I'm very happy with that overall. And for people that ask about My Hero Ultra Impact, if you want me to do a separate video telling you where it would be in these rankings, because it technically isn't, like, it's up here in the, I think it's like rank 60-ish is where it would be. For whatever reason, it's just never covered, but it's really not doing that bad. For whatever reason, they just don't include it in these rankings. I don't know why. I couldn't tell you. Maybe just because it's not as well known of a gacha game. It's just never ever been in these rankings. So if you want me to do a separate video, let me know down in the comments. But if you guys did enjoy this video, please consider going down there, hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button, and thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.